Have you ever been doing something that seems completely innocent, only to find out it might be bothering someone? Well, that's exactly what many bulldog owners are unknowingly doing every day. It's a mistake most people make, and it could be stressing your dog out more than you realize. By the end of this video, you'll discover what that common mistake is and why it's something you need to stop immediately if you want your bulldog to be truly happy and relaxed. I promise, you won't want to miss what I'm about to share, especially if you love your bulldog as much as I do. It might just change your relationship with your dog forever. But before we get into the big reveal, make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you want more tips on how to be the best dog owner you can be. Oh, and don't forget to drop your bulldog's name in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you've named your bulldog. Let's see how creative you all are. Maybe I'll shout out a few of my favorites in the next video. Alright, now, let's dive into this surprising truth. Have you ever reached down to pet your bulldog's head, thinking you're showing affection, only to notice a change in their mood? You might have noticed them flinch, look away, or even seem a little anxious. It turns out that this common action, one many dog owners do out of love, could be doing more harm than good. Let's explore this surprising truth that could change the way you interact with your bulldog forever. Let's first talk about bulldogs and their natural instincts. Bulldogs are a strong and stubborn breed, historically bred for bull baiting. Though they've come a long way since those days, some of their traits and instincts are still deeply embedded in their behavior. One of those instincts is how they perceive touch, especially when it comes from above. Dogs, including bulldogs, have strong territorial and defensive instincts. When you reach for their head from above, it's an act that might be seen as threatening. Imagine you're a dog, and someone taller than you approaches with their hand outstretched over your head. Your natural response might be to defend yourself, avoid the touch, or become wary of what's coming next. The bulldog's compact and muscular body may make them seem tough, but this breed, like any other, is sensitive to certain behaviors from humans that may feel invasive. Bulldogs communicate a lot through body language. They might not speak your language, but they speak with their eyes, ears, posture, and tail. Unfortunately, many bulldog owners miss subtle cues from their dogs when they're uncomfortable, and petting their head can often trigger these cues. When a bulldog feels uncomfortable with head pets, you might notice subtle signs like them pulling away slightly, lowering their ears, blinking excessively, or licking their lips. These are all signs that your dog isn't enjoying the interaction as much as you might think. Ignoring these signs can lead to long-term stress for your dog, making them associate head pets with discomfort. Moreover, some bulldogs may simply endure the head petting because they trust you, but that doesn't mean they enjoy it. Over time, this can build up stress and make them more reactive in other situations. Understanding your bulldog's body language and being mindful of their boundaries will help you build a deeper, more respectful relationship. Let's get into the psychology behind this. When you pet a bulldog's head, you're not petting a neutral zone. The head is a vulnerable area for most animals. In a dog's world, being touched or grabbed on the head, especially by someone they don't know well, can be interpreted as a dominating action. For bulldogs, who already have a history of being territorial and defensive, this can be even more pronounced. Dogs, including bulldogs, have evolved to view the world through a hierarchy. While your bulldog may love and respect you, the act of head petting puts them in a position where they feel like they're being dominated. This can confuse them, especially if they don't view you as a threat but still feel the discomfort of the action. The problem is, bulldogs aren't always going to react aggressively, but the stress builds up. This stress, when repeated over time, can cause issues with behavior, including anxiety, avoidance, or even reactive aggression in extreme cases. Now that we understand why head petting isn't ideal, let's talk about where your bulldog does like to be petted. Bulldogs have preferred areas of their body where they enjoy being touched. These areas often include the chest, back, and sides. Petting them in these zones feels much more natural and soothing to them. When you approach your bulldog, instead of reaching over their head, try coming from the side. Slowly pet their chest or scratch their back. You'll notice they're much more receptive to this kind of touch. Their body will relax, they may lean into your hand, and you'll likely see their tail wag in contentment. This is your bulldog telling you they're comfortable and happy. Also, be mindful of your bulldog's personality. Some bulldogs are more sensitive to touch than others. While one bulldog may enjoy a good belly rub, another may prefer gentle scratches along their back. It's important to observe how your dog reacts to different types of touch and adjust accordingly. Just like humans, dogs have their own preferences, and respecting those preferences can go a long way in building trust. One major point that often gets overlooked is the idea of consent when it comes to interacting with your dog. Just because your bulldog can't verbally say no doesn't mean they don't have preferences or boundaries. If you notice your bulldog pulling away or showing signs of discomfort, it's a sign that they don't want to be touched in that moment or in that specific way. Teaching your dog that they have control over when and where they're touched can actually improve their overall behavior. This helps them feel safe and understood, and in turn, they're more likely to be relaxed around you. Giving your dog the ability to say no by reading their body language or waiting for them to approach you for affection can deepen the bond you share. One simple way to do this is to observe when your bulldog comes to you on their own. If they nuzzle you or lay close to you, it's a sign they're open to affection. Always allow your bulldog to initiate contact instead of forcing it. This way, your dog feels secure and respected. One common myth that's still widespread is the idea that you need to assert dominance over your dog, including bulldogs. This idea often leads people to believe that petting a dog's head, or even physically dominating them, will reinforce your position as the alpha. However, modern animal behavior science has shown that dogs don't operate within the same hierarchical system as wolves or other pack animals, and forcing dominance-based interactions can harm your relationship with your dog. Bulldogs, in particular, thrive on trust and positive interactions. Instead of forcing head pets or other dominance-based behaviors, focus on mutual respect and understanding. This not only makes your bulldog feel more comfortable, but it also builds a stronger, healthier relationship.
Good dog.
Training is another aspect that goes hand in hand with respecting your bulldog's boundaries. By teaching your dog commands like sit or stay, you give them structure, and they learn to trust and follow your lead without fear. When training your bulldog, it's important to use positive reinforcement rather than punishment or domination. Positive reinforcement involves rewarding your bulldog for good behavior, whether through treats, toys, or praise. This type of training not only helps your bulldog learn commands but also strengthens your bond. When they feel rewarded and encouraged, they're more likely to respond positively to your cues, including when you're petting them. Finally, let's talk about the long-term impact of respecting your bulldog's boundaries when it comes to petting. Over time, if your bulldog feels that their space and preferences are being respected, they will trust you more deeply. This trust leads to a more relaxed, happy, and well-behaved dog. On the flip side, if your bulldog continually feels uncomfortable with how they're being touched, this can lead to increased stress and anxiety. They may become more reactive or start avoiding you altogether. By simply changing how and where you pet your bulldog, you can prevent these issues and ensure that your dog feels safe and loved in your presence. So, next time you're about to pet your bulldog's head, remember everything we've covered today. Your dog's comfort, trust, and happiness should always come first. Try petting them in places they enjoy more, like their chest or back, and always pay attention to their body language. Your bulldog will thank you for it in the long run, and you'll both enjoy a more relaxed, positive relationship. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more tips on how to improve your relationship with your dog. And don't forget to leave a comment below with your thoughts or questions about bulldog behavior.